Live on Twitch, not on the tube. Live on Twitch, not on the tube. Live on Twitch, not on the tube. Hello,
Not on the
ladies and
tube.
gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mehvies, and today we're watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I can see Ned in there and Ninja Slayer.
And complete with Star Pumpkin and, Squashmara. And I'm trying to come up with a
Oh,
pun for
I see the
Nebula, but
oh, I see the Cheetle.
yes, but can you spot the other edits that I've made?
Oh, there's Wolverine, Spider-Man, and I don't know where anybody else is
There are two more that you haven't found.
aside from Ned and Ninja Slayer.
You found Cheadle, you found Ned Ninja Slayer, and then you found Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Okay, who are the two others that I'm missing?
Well, you're looking for two other of our usual suspects.
Which are
Well, you're looking for Professor Ratigan and Jonah.
where would Ratigan even fit on this thing?
That's a very good question.
I'm trying to find him, but I can't see him.
Well, he is very small. You'd be hard pressed to.
Oh, he's on Groot's shoulder.
Yes,
Okay, and who else?
Jonah,
Where's Jonah?
the spectacular Jonah Man.
Where is he?
Well, he's doing the
Is he
same
on
thing.
Oh, he's on the creature.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing that he was in the Civil War thing. I had some spare time earlier, so
I'm sure.
I just did this in
So,
about 10 minutes.
our his so yeah. Uh, are
We've
we all
come
ready to go?
Yes.
All right, in three, two, one.
Yeah,
So,
so Oh
like,
yeah, so go ahead.
fun fact, when I went into the theaters, I ended up going to the theaters to see this more than once. And first time it was with like a group of people that with my family members that we ended up seeing the first Guardians of the Galaxy with, which included one of my cousins, and and this one when it was much the same. And but then I ended up going to see it again with my grandmother, and she was able to easily recognize young Kurt Russell all
Oh,
in this
okay.
scene right here.
You fucking kidding me? Why are we freezing? This is not playing off of a disc. This is playing off of a fucking hard drive. Am I Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Please
Bear
remain
with us.
seated. Your feature presentation will return.
Mr. Town, he works
Hang on.
laying
Let's
whiskey
rewind real
down.
quick.
All right, fine.
There we go. Okay. So, once more with feeling. 3, 2, 1.
Wait, wait. Okay, now.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, repeating myself. I'll get, even though I don't like repeating myself. Um, I'll there. I ended up going to see this movie twice. One with a group of people, of my family members that we ended up seeing uh, as, uh, that I ended up seeing in the first movie with, and then this movie, and then later I ended up seeing it again with my grandmother. And like I said before, she was able to easily recognize young Kurt Russell in this scene.
Yep. Which is funny because Kurt Russell was not this old during the time this movie was set. But fun fact, there are a couple of firsts in this film. This is the This film is the first film in the MCU to have been released on UHD, partially because Disney was attempting to compete with Sony at the time. Yeah. I will say the de-aging in this isn't quite as impressive as it was in Civil War, but it's not the worst de-aging that Marvel will get to. Not the
So,
worst de-aging Disney has done.
so for context sake, Kurt Russell plays Ego, the living planet,
Mm-hmm.
who is who, if you know in the Marvel Comics verse, is a gigantic planet and that also happens to be part of the Nova Corps for some reason.
Yep.
Much like how the Green Lantern Corps have a planet as one of their own.
Oh. Oh no. This is, I hope we don't have some kind of secret agency that's dedicated to interstellar threats that might have some kind of ability to deal with this. And I hope there's not a bunch of immortal pseudo robots who might
The shoe.
take exception to this. Anyways,
You
there's
yeah,
this
that's
film also
issues that'll be
marks something of a turning point in the MCU, a brief turning point where they actually start using more in the way of on-set colored lighting, distinct color grading, and things like that. Come phase 4 and 5, that will be completely gone, but, you know. Oh yeah, 34 years later. Keep that in mind, because that means this takes place in 2014, the same year that Guardians 1 took place.
According to the MCU timeline, this film takes place about a week after the first one.
Yeah, keep that in mind for the end of this film.
The end of the film, some of the post-credit scenes in this film take place during 2018
Oh
in
no, I wasn't
Avengers
talking about...
Infinity War.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about the post-credit scene. I was talking about the literal end of this.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah.
I have sensitive nipples. My nipples hurt. Oh,
Drax.
goodness me!
And meanwhile, Drax in the next film will wind up wearing full body covering because Batista doesn't. He does not like that makeup. Frankly, I can't blame him. That is a massive amount of makeup.
Eh, Batista. I have. I get the. I haven't heard a lot of nice things about him lately.
Percy, are those the fuck? Are those the fucking rat creatures that he ran into on the planet with the Power Stone? Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for some wondering, well, first off, we are going to get a meme song
Yeah. Well, yeah, so
because
the
Electric
ELO actually
Orchestra.
were originally not going to let them use this song here because an ELO song got cut from Guardians 1.
Ah,
But James Gunn said, no, this is in the opening sequence. We're not removing it again.
and the funny thing is that this ended up spawning a meme where during like big action sequences in a movie or TV show, you would hear this song on
Yeah.
playing.
Although originally that
And
meme was done with Freebird by Leonard Skinner because the film
with
Kingsman.
Kingsman,
Yeah.
they look up the scene. Look up the scene in Family Guy where Meg and Chris are beating the crap, are killing their classmates in the mess hall. Oh, that was originally set to Freebird,
Yep.
or with this song in there.
Yeah, so
And
please keep all these visual effects in mind for when hi Sly, not yet, but you know, generally. But please keep all these visual effects in mind. The blending of 3D effects and and live action effects
So
and live
cheeky.
action actors because of the MCU will wind up
I s-
devolving shortly
Last time we'll be
later.
seeing Tyler Bates' credit in these movies.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see. You don't want him getting a taste for living blood, do you? But
I
yeah,
swear, Baby
I would
Groot
have I would have
was
liked to see Tyler Bates's take on a Superman score, but he's not scoring the new Superman film.
no, it's just that a guy that James Gunn has that did at TSS
But
and Guardians
yeah,
of the Galaxy 3.
I can't remember his real name, so I'm just going to call him Captain Fill-In.
Seriously,
Yeah, this is a
like
this is a quite a good little opening sequence here.
yeah.
He
And
runs
Baby
into the
Groot
camera.
ends up being the most marketable thing about this movie.
Yeah, there are Baby Groot toys all over the place to this very day.
Yep.
And we all
Fuck
return to the
you, man.
Groot. Batista. Batista goes straight through the speakers.
Drax, that's stupid. You know, for some reason in the CinemaSins video of this movie, it's like Jeremy genuinely thinks that people like Gamora and Drax don't really have any superpowers, even though they clearly have superhuman strength, speed, and durability.
Yeah. They're they're from space. Yeah. Batista. Batista must have had a hell of a time with this role. Oh yeah, look at
He,
that. He presses a button on the side of his head and the mask shows up. Almost
yeah.
like almost like you could fit 50 of them into somebody's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
No reason he couldn't have bought a
I
new
love how
mask or stolen
I love how
one.
Gamora I love how Gamora earlier says, "You really think I'm gonna beat this thing with a sword?" And then,
She winds up
and
having
as
to
we're
because she runs out of ammunition.
yep, and she succeeds.
What's with the Northern Lights?
Oh, little lacking in the continuity of where she was in relation to the creature, but whatever.
Could be worse. I've seen far worse editing throughout the MCU up to this point.
Yep. Oh, that's gross. Sorry, that was funny.
Yeah. Even though we have come to bag on James Gunn quite significant. Oh, wow, that's the size of a cell phone.
It's not even close to what he said.
Yeah. Even though we have come to bag on James Gunn recently, we
Mostly because
we
he's
do.
terminally online and his
Yeah.
visual effects artists are liking posts that dunk on Zack Snyder,
Yeah.
even when he's paying respect to somebody who had died.
Yeah. We do, yeah, so we can see here there's a lot of brilliant looking color contrast here.
Hello, race that will soon be responsible for the creation of Adam Warlock, who is not exactly one of the best things to come out of this universe.
Yeah, and we will someday be revealed that they are the product of Purple Not Thanos. Purple Not, Kang.
Uh, I like how Gamora has been able to somewhat rein in. Well, it's kind of a shame that their dynamic just is not the same, even though And Gamora feels like a completely different person. And even though she's supposed to be like, from 2014, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It, okay, then.
All right. Nebula, I'm going to need you to strip naked and make me some cookies. Those of you who get that reference, you don't get any bonus points. You're just as bad as I am for knowing about that film.
What film are you talking about?
Not another happy ending.
Karen Gillan was in it.
Karen Gillan was in it, and she was completely naked.
How much of her was visible?
Partial frontal, full rear.
So by partial, you mean up top, right?
Well, you got to see the whole front, but no, like, little bit of boob, little bit of tit, no
So,
crotch, but we did get a
so
full,
base,
we
so
did get a
basically the
full
level,
frame.
so basically the level of partial frontal nudity that we got in Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay.
Um, well, a little bit more because we did get to see all of her ass.
That's fair.
Yeah, this is something about Guardians 1 and 2 and yeah, something about Guardians 1 and 2 that we will not see later on in, well, we've already seen the Suicide Squad, but we will not see later on in Guardians 3 is a knowledge of
Insert
when
license
to
tracks.
when to insert the licensed tracks and when to stop them so that we can have the original score. Yeah, people kind of didn't. The fact that Chris Pratt was this fucking jacked for Guardians when he was the fat guy on Parks and Rec is kind of impressive.
Yeah. Sure, you weren't Gamora.
It's also
Eh,
it's also this is the first of a number of gags of Batista sneaking up on people in this film.
He
Unfortunately,
just,
that will go completely nowhere in the sequel.
which is a shame.
Rax? Fucking hell, Drax. Okay, I take back all of that stuff I said about how I like the characters saying directly what they like, what they think.
Yeah. The funny thing is that
That's what she said. Yeah, this is a while I appreciate the concept that goes into Rocket having this slightly self-destructive tendency here. Um I'm not as big of a fan of him just being a kleptomaniac, you know?
yeah.
You know what you guys could do? Yeah, this is another thing that kind of bugs me. Why didn't the Sovereign say, "Hey, come back. Like you got something that's ours first?"
Because they're that extreme.
Oh, well this
That's
is
kind of the
a
tone I that's kind of the tone I got from
yeah.
them.
Well, yeah, they do have this highly emotional um attitude to them here.
Your fleet is expendable and consisting of Galaga
Yeah,
players.
I was gonna say those are sound effects you ripped from Pac-Man and Galaga, man.
Honestly, I kind of thought this was a little funny. Just the idea that at while oh the people while people are being attacked in a space battle, oh they are here the the sovereign in question are just playing games of Galaga.
That's what, Battlestar Galactica and trying to think, Battle Beyond the Stars, I think, would have had visuals like that for their targeting computers.
I recall in that such a be like, oh, you want to pilot? Fine, go ahead.
No, you weren't. I've seen Guardians 3. You were a fucking scientist.
This isn't funny. Drax, you made it even less funny. I
Can,
agree, Gamora.
yeah, maybe we could, I don't know.
Put the dick measuring contest on hold.
Well, I was gonna say, hey, maybe we could cut all of this dialogue, James, and insert either things that are relevant to the plot or actually funny. It's actually some pretty good continuity there, or with, yeah, I agree. Gamora, I'm going to interject time and place.
It's like I love that Drax just knows what he needs to do here. Base suits for emergencies or for fun. Yeah, that's the attitude.
Hang
Yeah, that
on.
would probably be a reasonable attitude to
I
have.
need to... It's a good thing I haven't finished editing my Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review, because I forgot about those. I forgot that they were that fucking small. That's... Well, Gwen
It's true.
Stacy, eat your heart out.
Don't forget Drax is absurdly durable as well.
Gwen... Gwen Stacy needs to do more sit-ups to be able to be as strong as Drax.
Keep in mind, Drax is also nearly as
Okay,
strong as Hulk.
so you remember all those complaints people had about how every character in Joss Whedon's writing has the same tone, essentially?
Yeah.
There's a reason why I try to keep certain kinds of slang out of the dialogue of certain characters.
Yeah, I especially try to do that with when writing Damien.
Yeah, like
And
I
in
was
certain things,
reminded, have you seen the trailer for the movie Your Highness?
no.
Okay, so at the beginning of the trailer, they're like we're going on a quest, and then Danny McBride at the end of it says, "This quest sucks." It's like a medieval comedy film. And it's like you're doing something wrong when when Monty Python and the Holy Grail... Well, that was lucky. We're doing something wrong when Monty Python and the Holy Grail... Yeah, these guys clearly don't have super strength at all. You're doing something wrong when Monty Python and the Holy Grail has more believable medieval dialogue than you are.
Yeah. With like Cyborg, I try to make him sound like he is the you know, like he is in the '03 Teen Titans series.
Yeah.
And with Superboy, he's kind of like a smarter version of Gar,
Mm-hmm.
or in that, or while Beast Boy obviously is like,
Yeah,
you
my
know,
my biggest example is, like, Thor. I I
Raven
very
is Raven
I
is
very
like the deadpan snarker.
yeah. I very much try to keep Earth lingo out of Thor's dialogue, you know? I mean, it wasn't really a... Ugh.
No, they're not.
This this is as unfunny as when they called gravity Mavity in the fucking recent Doctor Who stuff. Yeah, I was...
Sorry.
Rocket wasn't the stupid one there, it was
Crash me.
Gamora! Okay. Can we... cut? We can cut now, guys. Thank you. Follow me, set me free. She's not evil and she's not a supervillain. I'm going to... I'm having much less fun now.
It's usually what happens when we watch a post 2014 James Gunn production.
Although the funny thing is, last time I watched this film, I came to the conclusion that overall it is quite similar to the first one in terms of quality. It just both of them have slightly different problems, you know? Hi,
Yeah.
Mantis.
Hello, Mr. Russell.
Ah, Snake.
Meanwhile, on Contraxia, one thing the MCU certainly does right with Howard the Duck is that he's more delegated to cameo man in the Guardians movies.
Yes, and not only that, he makes very short appearances and doesn't overstay his welcome.
Yeah.
Yondu just got done having a threesome with some with some crash test dummies.
Literal sex bots.
Fucking hell. Oh, those are some vicious abs.
What on Michael Rooker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, that...
You know,
I think I hear the voice of Space Rocky. By the way, these
yep.
are the original Guardians of the Galaxy from the old comic from the 70s/80s.
By the way, the guy with the crystal face, he's played by Michael Rosenbaum.
From... Oh! I didn't know that. That's cool.
Away from me, bitch.
Hmm. That's some heavy-handed dialogue right there.
I like some people would not give Sylvester Stallone enough credit for being able to,
Oh yeah.
oh, deliver as
Oh, he is an
oh hello,
Oscar-nominated actor for a reason.
yeah,
He's won
oh
his
hi,
films have won Academy Awards.
yeah, hello, Taserface.
God, those why are you caressing metal tits?
And here comes Aisha.
Hoity toity lol bleh. I I'm not sure what to say.
I thought it was kind of funny.
It yeah, could have been.
Hey, it's like our technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Ah, Drax, you are a dumbass. Yeah, see, Rocket has,
You're fucking racist, dude. In fact, he's not even racist correctly.
yeah. I like
She's
how she's just kind of, awkward here,
yeah, she hasn't been socialized well.
which kind of hints at as to like what's truly going on with her.
Mm-hmm. That's some pretty heavy exposition here, guys. I, I would have could have written that a little bit better, you know. We could have brought that out in like conversation with the two of them where he was telling her something that he'd done. And maybe we could have had the scene where he was drunk and telling her about his past. Something like that. A little bit less clunky. Like, I like it's one of those things. I like the idea.
Aw. Maybe.
You can kind of hear Fleetwood Mac in the back.
Yep.
That's a nanotech repair thing. I I sincerely hope there's not a time later on where something like this is necessary.
Oh, totally.
This is one of the most interesting sets in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been more organic here.
Eight. Okay then.
Mantis is so friggin' adorable. Of
Thanks a lot,
course,
Drax.
of course it's fucking true.
You know, the funny thing is that given my writing any of Teen Titans stuff, Gar ends up in an intimate relationship with an empath. And considering how much physical contact they get into, he can't really hide himself from her. Well, that's just rude, Gamora.
Just true, but not directly. Okay.
So, fun fact, I think like after I saw this movie in theaters and I was still working at a CVS, as it was like oftentimes this song would play. Every so often I'm like, oh
Yeah,
jeez, it's
Gunn
like this
winds up
store.
bringing a bunch of old songs back into rotation every time he releases a new movie.
Yeah.
Because the awesome mixes, the Guardians trilogy, have pumped up quite a few films, quite a few
Oh,
songs.
that's disgusting.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, James
I
Gunn, we get it. You used to direct fucking trauma movies.
Oh, that's a lot of tranquilizer. I like how Rocket is just
It's the
uh
simple things in life you treasure.
I like how he's trying to distract everybody with like his voice playing in the ship as I just be like, this
that
is the best ride ever. Oh,
that makeup that makeup looked really good right up until you got to the ear.
this one raccoon is just fucking around with all of the Ravagers. You're really gonna mess with the raccoon, buddy? Okay, your funeral.
Well,
One person, but Yondu was ultimately smart enough to keep a couple of his guys in reserve.
this is why you send a scout party.
Yep. Worst part is she's not exactly lying here.
No.
Okay, first off, your math is wrong, and secondly, are
You
you
guys
guys
are fucking
retarded?
retarded.
You'd get more profit from Yondu's deal than you would on Aisha's deal. If they're worth a quarter million on the black market, you're gonna get at your sum and then and probably more.
This is the quickest mutiny I've ever seen.
Yeah. I'm surprised Rocket doesn't take this opportunity to sneak off.
Well, that was a quick resolution. Lucky that didn't kill him, I guess.
Yeah. Like, wait a second. She realized, you know what? They had a point.
He like how they call it Ego's Planet, not Ego the Planet. Yep. This is George Harrison here, by the way.
Yep. You really want to see the light.
To my mind, the best singer out of the Beatles. Which makes it kind of unfortunate that he didn't have all that many lead vocal performances with them. Cause I'm so humble. I'm so humble. Visual effects extravaganza, this film.
Hmm. So,
Oh, I hope that there aren't more Celestials on Earth. Do it harder makes it better. Do it faster makes it stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour is never over.
I kind of like the idea of ego of simply being this being that just manifested itself in the infinite void.
In the beginning, there was Ego. And then there was the id.
Okay, then. That's a kind of random question to ask. Copulated. I'm with Will on that one.
What? Literally and figuratively.
I really, really hope they don't derail his character or later on in the movie. And in a certain plot twist.
Hmm.
I mean, considering you kind of got around.
Yeah. Wonder what he would have done if they were twins.
Who knows? Well, Alex, things. I think the term you're referring to in terms of multiple is like the Eternals, not the Celestials, because
Well,
the
there is a.
Celestials.
Well, there will be a celestial poking out of the earth at some point, and that's not going to be addressed ever.
Oh right, oh right, Tiamat.
Fucking. That didn't look like a multi-headed dragon to me, but whatever.
Oh, that's Final Fantasy's version of Tiamat,
Technically, it's also D&D's version.
but not Marvel's.
Hmm.
And the last thing that guy would see is his own comrade as just laughing at him.
Boy, I hope they don't come up with a much more embarrassing portrayal of this in a future film. That's fucking dark.
Yeah, I'm with Rocket on that one. What kind of mother names their
Please,
child Taserface?
yeah, please don't call yourself that.
If you've seen the History, there's a version of this scene where Taserface literally manifests a taser from within his head.
It goes like his face literally opens up.
Like he's fucking locked down from Transformers 4.
Yeah.
Lockdown was still way better in Transformers Animated when he was voiced by Lance Henriksen.
No disagreement there.
Like, I don't even know how he would work in other Transformers media. Like, obviously, he's a bounty hunter, but still. Okay, now I think the joke
That's
has run its
actually a
course,
pretty good
Rocket.
impression there, Bradley.
Yeah, this joke has definitely run its course.
Yep. Hey,
Thank you,
the joke has
Nebula.
gone on too long. We officially need to throw this joke out the airlock along with all those people. Nice arm.
Yeah. have to imagine how much of her is even organic at this point.
Well, we can see that her. Oh, that's interesting. There's a spot of makeup missing under her left eye.
Yeah. I like how Kraglin's just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, one of my problems with the dialogue in this film is that every line goes on for about 2 sentences longer than it needs to.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Oh, now we're back to the good dialogue.
By the way, Vic Mignogna has been doing some Star Wars bits lately with on this day, May 4th.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check those out when we get done here.
It's
Yeah,
almost like he's a
that
Star
ear
Trek fan who
yeah,
can
that
be a
earpiece
Star
there, by the
Wars
way, that's
fan.
the helmet.
Yep. I'm just playing catch. Such whimsical music.
Now he finally gets to play catch with his dad for the first time in his entire long, miserable, space-bound life. I hope that Thanos didn't kill all of the people on your homeworld.
Yeah.
Well, okay then.
The worst part is he's not entirely wrong there.
No. I mean, he's wrong about one thing, but he's not about the uh
He's not a he's wrong about her being ugly. It's oh, this scene is heavy.
And it really just goes to show how strong Drax is, because he's feeling all of that and he's not letting it through. He's just there for him, you
Yeah.
know? And all of that kind of starts breaking down some of Mantis's barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little bit of storytelling there, actually.
Hey then. Meanwhile,
Huh. It's a stock sound effect. But, you know, you wouldn't be able to tell that if you didn't know.
Rocket,
That was
stop.
an interesting break of the 180 line there.
No, well, we've got a worse punishment for this one. They want to break the cutie.
My heart was an open book. I used to say, live and let live. And I know I did. Yeah, that's actually not a bad bit of on the nose dialogue because good god, those teeth. James Gunn is making a bad habit out of introducing dialogue that appears only in one film and then calling back to it later on in the same film.
Jesus Christ,
Don't
guys.
marinate him. You just ruined his new clothes. Why does that guy have the Shinsuke Nakamura haircut? I'm going to kill all of you. I hope you know that.
Yep. I love how Rocket's even iffy about it.
Uh, I've never known anybody who sucks their thumb in real life. I've never done that myself. Why do you still have the... Why are these things all over the place? We're gonna need to give that to Thor in a couple of films here. Well, it's not that funny.
Ow!
Is the fin... Is the fin in the desk, at least? I don't want to know where you got that. So, so Groot just did that. Okay.
Really?
I wish we could have had that and we could have cut the toe joke, you know?
Yeah.
And granted, most of these guys are gonna die anyways, but, hmm. Like how Kraglin and is finally fed up with all this shit.
Yep. Of course they do.
Well, I do appreciate the things that James Gunn attempts to do in his films. This bit of his character development takes very short amounts of time, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and if you've seen the Hishi version of this scene, it's like, watch out, here comes my arrow. It flies super fast and kills everyone. Watch out, here comes my arrow. Legolas sucks, and Yondu is the one. Look it up sometime. It's actually kind of funny.
I shall. I'd like to know how you came to that conclusion. Somebody else could have stolen it.
No, no, no. Here's the thing. I believe that Taser fit that if anybody's going to take that fin, they're going to deliver it to Yondu.
That's actually fair.
Because why else would? Because why else would that fin just go missing for no reason? There he's on his way, and I knew, yes, I knew that it was done. But then I heard her say, yeah, yeah, come a little bit closer, you're my kind of man. So big and so strong. Come a little bit closer. I'm all alone, and the night is so young.
Written and directed by Zack Snyder.
See, if Zack Snyder were to do something like this, people would throw a hissy fit over it.
I almost... The funny thing is, like, soundtrack dissonance is one thing.
I'm more referring to the massacre of all these guys by one of what would
Yeah.
be currently considered one of the quote unquote good guys.
Yeah. But, one thing that I think might have worked for this would have been Seek and Destroy by Metallica.
Peter's tastes
Excuse
are a
me.
little not Metallica at the moment.
Ooh. Yondu, we could have
Oof.
used that ship later.
They got another one. And I love how Rocket's just also getting in on the is taking out the guys that Yondu misses.
Yay, murder! And people genuinely get on Aquaman's case for some of the things that he did in his movie.
Hmm. I'm surprised that didn't kill him.
You maniac! You blew him up!
Yeah, I don't imagine her taking his name seriously at all.
Yeah.
Sure, they're a sovereign, but
I
they're like,
I
that's
I
not a
would have
real
directed it
name.
a little bit differently. I would have thought that like a slow smile into a kind of laugh would have been a bit more
Oh, here we go. Healthy form of mammalian body to hop more than 50 jumps at a time. Know that? We're about to do 700. My God.
welcome to drugs.
Now let's be real here. But that would definitely be the sound I'd end up making if I were in that situation. Be like,
Trying to remember where that sound effect is from. Yep, yep, Sam Cooke, good choice for one of the greatest singers of all time.
yep.
See here. Pick out a couple of songs. I believe he did the original version of Cupid. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight to my lover's heart for me. Nobody but me. Cupid, please hear my cry and let your arrow fly. Uh, there are other people who are part god.
Yeah.
That's every buddy cop show. That's a great response.
I saw the 4K of this, and I'm like, ooh, I do not like it.
Yeah, it was the
It,
very first 4K that Disney did for the Marvel films. I think it might have been their first 4K in general, and they very much rushed it. Guardians of the Galaxy, so there's this period of time for about, like, 25 years where, a lot of films were, especially ones with, like, digital effects, would master all of their digital footage at, 1080p. Guardians of the Galaxy
oh,
was
hi,
among those.
Nebula.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was among those, rather, but Guardians 1 was as well. And, okay. And, rather unfortunately, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 kinda looks uh, a bit not right on 4K. Kinda like how Man of Steel has, uh, too much, too much brightness. Batman v
Yeah.
Superman's original release has way too much brightness. And the color correction is completely fucked on all of MCU phase 1 except for
Hulk.
Hulk, Captain America, and the Avengers. But Captain America has its own problems because they turned up the saturation too much, and some of the skin tones look a
Oh,
bit
and
fucked up, and they
here's another bit
DNR'd
of
the hell
proof
out of it. It
that
looks like Funimation did the DNR
here's
on it.
another proof of Gamora having superhuman strength.
Yeah, hmm. Jeremy, can you actually pay attention to the films?
Look at that. She's barely feeling any of the recoil at all,
Yeah, and she's holding this fucking ship gun on her shoulder.
and moving forward.
Yeah. Jeremy, you should watch things. You should watch films.
The funny thing is, there's also this weird YouTuber that was out there that has this issue with a number of MCU movies, but I've only seen like the reactions from like JXC of well, he's one of the guest stars on the EFAP
EFAP.
crew.
Yes.
So JXC ends up making these videos about this one guy who is the weirdest fucking criticisms of like at least two MCU movies, and they are Spider-Man: Homecoming and Avengers: Infinity War.
Was it, hang on, was it Brooks' show? Or was that,
Uh
hang on, I'm gonna go to Jay's channel right now.
the videos are essentially like the top 5 things wrong with Spider-Man: Homecoming's trailer,
Why would you,
of all things.
you don't know what the fuck is going on with trailers.
And then it's the Infinity War sucks video. The guy says that these movies are like soulless corporate sellouts. They're designed and
Is
make
that
money
High
and
Top?
whatnot. No.
Okay.
And meanwhile, he's got all these like figures and whatnot, showcasing how much he's just willing to shill out. Oh, just whatnot. Hold on a sec.
See here. Was it maybe a Screen Rant video? God damn it,
RNS,
YouTube's... What's it called?
RNS. RNS
RN...
Entertainment.
Yeah, I see him. There's a lot of,
He's got
comic book
like
history
two.
videos.
He's got like two Venom things and a whole bunch of other figures and whatnot, littering his shelf.
Good God.
Okay, so would you like to know what RNS had said about this Spider-Man, about what's wrong with Spider-Man Homecoming?
No, I think we'll get to that later. We can watch... You know what we could do? We could watch his video before we do the, Spider-Man Lotus video we're working on. I say working
Mm,
on.
you can exclude me from that one. I don't want to watch that.
Oh, you don't want to watch Lotus?
No.
Oh, I thought you said that we could do that on the Friday after watched Homecoming.
Yeah, but I don't feel like getting involved in that.
Oh, that sucks. What?
So Seamus now has console with next to no games on it.
One game. I don't know why I bought a PS5 with no games to buy. I can't. Yeah, I can't wait for him to come back to Earth and see all of the statues of Pac-Man that people have in their houses too.
One game. I just quoted that to Seamus. One game. I don't know why I bought a PS5 with no games to buy. Okay, this is going on for too long.
Can we? Can we stop? Joker.
Oh, and RNS ended up saying like Gamora and Nebula had quote unquote always had quote unquote sisterly love for one another.
I mean, not really.
Ah, yes, true sisters try to kill each other every so often, especially
Yeah.
with giant Gatling guns.
Yeah.
Here we have the infamous scene.
Seek out new life and new civilizations. Boldly go where no man has gone before.
He says context is a beautiful thing, especially when I show two PS5 exclusives, even if they may be timed.
That's some pretty good effects work right there.
Yeah.
It's small. Oh,
Oh,
Eternity.
that's a lot
Eternity,
of dead
huh?
bodies.
Yep. Human, humanoid, non-human.
Meanwhile, and here's our obligatory Stan Lee cameo. I love how Stan
Yeah.
Lee is just telling of
He's,
his.
ex- he's explaining how all the stuff that he's done. I didn't know trees could vomit. This is Yep. Okay. How exactly does Disney have so many films that have the same kind of thing in them? Parents who
Yeah.
sold their child out. In fact, there are references to three parents selling their children out in this film alone. Hmm. Expansion. I wonder what that's going to look like.
Well, at least it's not going to be a thermal expansion.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can remember how the song goes. Uh. Nope, nope. I'm not gonna try and figure out how the Big Bang Theory by Bare Naked Ladies goes right now. What is up with the Cinema Sins anvil clank effect?
I don't know.
Why didn't you go team up with the one that's already on Earth? Or that big fucker who with the staff that we saw in the last movie.
I think the big fucker we saw with the staff died using the Power Stone to destroy the planet that he
Uh,
was on,
Possible.
and
Oh
then
Jesus
there
fucking
was,
Christ! Stop! No, I don't want to see. Is that Medusa?
and then so uh,
Hmm. So the powers that he has are genetic. Carries celestial genes. Like some kind of mutant. I mean, that's not how we'll
except for
refer to each other in the next movie, but you know, that film hasn't been made yet.
and we're gonna get that scene or that moment. And this is the single moment that ruined ego for quite a number of people.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, no, I've never liked this idea here.
And that's an interesting dolly zoom there.
Yeah, that's straight that's the vertigo effect right there.
Yep. Cinema Wins pointed this out when they did their review of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
This is some pretty good effects work here as well. I'd like to see how they pulled this off. I haven't actually looked into it.
We're going to be watching that tomorrow. You didn't pay attention to what Ego said, did you?
No, I didn't.
Who in the hell do you think you are?
Oh, that's in
That's one of the most iconic quotes from
yeah,
Gurren Lagann.
that's in Gurren Lagann.
Just who the hell do you think I am? Now Ego starts to actually look like himself.
Yeah, like his self from the comics.
But he's sadly not himself from the comics. I imagine the tape must have worn itself out at some point.
Yeah, it's a I happen to know that audio cassettes tend not to last for forever, you know.
And Yandu, not Yandu, and Ego just broke it.
Yep. Killing killing his mother was one thing, but you know, he lost even the casual fans when he crushed the Walkman.
I destroyed a Grilling shell, you bastard!
Oh. Hey, Thunderbolt Ross, why wasn't this on your PowerPoint presentation? Ego's blue cum spooging all across the earth.
I get the impression that Phase 3 was not all that well thought out
No.
when you bring up points like this. Like, I feel like the only thing that really had a lot of forethought into it in some way was Civil War. Mostly
I'd
just
almost
because
say more so like Infinity War and Endgame because they weren't really like because those were built on what had come before so significantly, but everything else.
no, no, what I mean is trying to say. Except you are a rocket. Oh, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
Yep. And to anybody thinking that's a plot hole, he showed him in his little fantasy representation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ego the Living Planet was created by Jack Kirby. He's a character from the Thor comics.
Of course. I feel like a lot of these people were just really taking a massive dump on Jack Kirby's
Yeah.
his legacy. Which,
Jack Kirby
by the
created him by creating a photo collage and then sketching from that.
at the very least, Kurt Russell is, one of the most charismatic actors out there.
Yeah. Yeah, for anybody who wants to know, Ego in the comics is a friendly giant planet for the most part. Um, I'd say for the
Much
most
like the
part because
giant,
they're, yeah,
much like the planet that's a member of the Green Lantern Corps.
indeed. And yeah, apparently he originally was a scientist who got merged with a planet when the sun went nova in the system. And then later on,
Oh, here we go.
huh, that's interesting.
Now, baby, this is not what it seems. Shoot, shoot, baby, we feel good to me. Don't make it what it's not. We got a wham, bam, jang-a-lang, and a sha-la-la-la-la-la thing. Wham, bam, jang-a-lang, and a sha-la-la-la-la-la. I get the impression that Aisha, uh, that since the expansion is kind of also happening on the Sovereign planet, she
I have
does
a
not.
feeling the High Evolutionary would want to know about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that he doesn't bring that up.
Clearly. I mean, you
Oh,
could use
you
your other
literally
head.
are.
Oh, wow. There's the core. I know Kung Fu. I'm sure. Hey, remember that Aisha chick? Why? Oh, hell.
This reminds me of the, you remember, yep, ghouls, definitely ghouls. From, Hellsing Ultimate Abridged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Gamora did the superhero
It
landing.
reminds me of that.
Yeah. Yeah, we got ghouls. Definitely ghouls. Oh my god!
that, that snap zoom out. If there were a few more of those in this, I'd almost have mistaken who directed it.
You have to believe in yourself. I believe. Believe in the me that believes in you.
Yeah.
Really, Drax?
Christ, Drax, you need to. You're incredibly encouraging. We need somebody who's small enough to be able to crawl through. I know, but it's the only idea we have left.
Do this right. Do that. Indeed, Quill. All right. First, you flick this switch, then this switch activates it. Then you push this button. It'll give you 5 minutes to get out of there. Now, whatever you do, don't push this button, because that'll set off the bomb immediately, and we'll all be dead. Now, repeat back what I just said. Huh? That's right. No! No, that's fine. That will kill everyone. Try again. Mm, Huh? No, that's exactly what you just said. How is that even possible? Which button are you supposed to
You know,
push?
incredibly realistic example of
No!
me explaining something to one of my coworkers here.
Give me some tape. Do you have any tape out there? I want to put some tape over the death button. Okay, I'll have to admit, this is one of those drawn out jokes that actually works. Because now Rocket is pondering his life choices.
Yeah, I also appreciate this from the fact that I've done this several times where I've
Yeah.
where I've explained something in
But
plain
a
English.
single person has tape. You ask Nebula. Are you sure? I know you were lying. That's exactly my point. I have to do everything.
See, this is why MacGyver always carried like an entire toolkit stashed around his body.
We're all gonna die. Ow. Okay, why did they stop?
Excuse me.
That's precious.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're working here.
Jeez.
Don't worry, we're good.
Uh,
Y'all. Yeah, see, that would have been too painfully obvious if I went with the Mary Poppins suggestion for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
god.
Drax. Very helpful.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing at this.
I'd hope so.
But seriously, come on. You really blame me? Okay, so
Uh,
Alex, at the very least, when it came to the Vulture in No Way Home, you could, or in Homecoming, you could at the very least make the argument that he could be portrayed as a sort of like broker or of sorts.
I guess. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And Hela, at the very least, is given a bit more to her kit than just whatever she has in the comics. Ego, meanwhile, as we've pointed out, is not like how he is in the comics at all.
No. Like, he has been an antagonist in some issues, but that hasn't been like this.
No.
Now, granted, I am not going to apologize for getting on Cosmonaut Variety Hour's ass about his complaints about this movie. But,
Oh no, the helmet. That thing that James Gunn forgets that there's more than one of.
yeah. The helmet got destroyed in Guardians 2, so why did it show up in Infinity War and Endgame?
Because unlike you, Gunn, the Russos actually he figured or that it would make sense for there to be more than one helmet.
Even just as a fucking matter of use, like, I'd have more than one fucking helmet.
Yeah.
Fucking spaceman, of course you want to have more than one helmet.
Cinema Sins says that Drax graduated from the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things.
There's nowhere else for him to go. It's a very narrow platform. Cool little piece of imagery right here.
Oh, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
I really do appreciate how Drax is doing his best to keep Mantis above the ground here.
Yep. Oh my. Well, at the very least, as he's reforming his body, they're keeping it above his waistline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of footage that probably should have shown up. I guess Thunderbolt Ross didn't want to bring up anything that the
Oh,
Avengers
his
weren't in
Dandar.
some way tied to, you know?
Now we get the heroic second wind.
Then we can hear Fleetwood Mac in the background again.
You don't love me now. You will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain if you
By the way,
don't
Marcus,
love
if you
me
want to
now.
complain about
I'll
blue
never
screen
love you
flickering,
again.
look at this film.
To
There was a
hear
little bit of
you
blue
say
screen flickering in that
will never break
wide
the
shot of them
chain if
flying
you
by.
break. Love me now. You will never love me again.
They're on
I
a
can
Star Trek planet
still
there. Huh.
hear you say you would never break the chain.
I've never seen a brain breathe before.
Oh, good God. Like, He is actually, he almost was doomed them all.
If he had hit the right hand button, and the movie would have been a Ryan Johnson film.
Yep. Why didn't you take more?
You can clearly hold more, both physically and metaphorically.
Groot. What's that? He says, "Welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy." Only he didn't use frickin'.
Even if he just said, "Welcome to the Guardians of the fucking Galaxy," it would have made more sense.
Yeah. Because that way we could have actually had the one F bomb in a PG
Yeah.
13 movie. You're allowed that, guys.
But it also would have been better if he'd have just said, "Welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy," and left it at that.
Now we get this bit.
It,
How much do you
well, okay
how much do
then.
you think how much do you think Bamco was paid for that?
Yeah, but, funny. I'll bet you Namco was paid more for that than they were for the Pac-Man TV show they had at the time. It's lucky that Rocket stole those batteries, so they wouldn't have been able to blow up Ego at the end of the film. Hmm. That that's a bit Man of Steel-y. Yeah, no, it's a bit Man of Steel meets Doctor Who, but yeah.
What's so horrible about that?
It's also interesting because I thought you said he had the genes, which should mean that he should have things permanently. Or have you not remember that's not how genetics works? And he transformed into magic sand.
Yep. Everything's just exploding around him. May have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy. So Yondu's going to heroically sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that this was the only sad death scene in the MCU during this phase.
I. Hmm. Really? Because I can definitely see that being a thing, but like really they didn't have as much of a the snap?
Oh, this was before Infinity War came out.
Oh.
Then
Wait,
everything
wait a
changed
second.
when
No,
the Fire Nation attacked.
there were only 3 films out at the time. You can't just make a determination like that. Hell,
Oh wait,
nobody
I think it. Oh wait, I
I
think
don't
it was mostly in general. My bad.
The- Oh, hi Cthulhu.
in
Um, oh,
well,
it's
in
the troll
general the
doll.
MCU.
That's hmm, no. I mean, I agree that it's a sad death, but like, I wouldn't. Yeah, that was an interesting season of Baywatch Nights. Well, like I'd have said that Erskine's death or Bucky's would have been pretty moving. Um, who was the guy who helped Tony in Iron Man 1?
Bo Jensen.
Yinsen, yeah, Yinsen's was fucking gut-wrenching.
Yeah, maybe you should stay with them, Nebula, instead of, abandoning them and getting yourself captured by a certain buff grimace.
Mhm.
Let's be real here. They made the grimace jokes before Infinity War.
Good.
Now Yondu is going to be
I
cremated.
Yep. I sure hope there wasn't some kind of instant healing med pack they could have used on him that would have healed all of his injuries if they'd have gotten it to him in time. That would undermine everything.
Uh, well, I don't think a metapack was going to cure Yondu dying in the vacuum of space.
This is a good joke
Nine.
here.
Yeah, that's 90s shit.
No, that's early 2000s, but yeah. I have a Zune actually. It's actually pretty good. Just it's a shame that Microsoft fucked it up.
Now, if only we got to see E. Kraglin's whole arc with this.
Yeah.
And that is how it happened. This is how I, Yondu, who died.
Hang on. What I'd, I need to go back and watch that segment of Guardians 3 again. But yeah. Peter would be absolutely ecstatic if he heard that I had 26,000 songs on my phone.
You just be like, how?
And all those songs fits on one little bitty itty bitty little chip that's the size of my pinky nail.
We'll be seeing you again in Infinity War, Nebula.
Yeah. By the way, I will straight up never, ever forgive fucking Mike Cernovich for the cancel crusade against James Gunn. Because, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might have actually come out not to be better. Might have come out sooner, and, well, we wouldn't have gotten the Suicide Squad. Yep, and now they're actually giving him the hero's funeral.
Yep. Yep. You could even hear Wally West in his voice.
Hey, Flash.
Look at that big son of a bitch.
Jesus Christ. How tall is Ving Rhames in real life?
Google it.
She... That... That... Ving Rhames is only 6 foot tall. Huh. That must have been some serious, forced perspective there. Oh, wait, that wasn't... Yeah, that was Ving Rhames. Okay, good. Charlie 27, one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's speak a little bit more about it. In fact, maybe we could speak a whole lot about it.
All that's going to be off-screen
Yeah.
development in the 4 years
Oh yeah.
between this
By
and
the way,
Infinity War.
hey, if you recognized the voice of the computer mainframe, that's because it was Miley Cyrus.
Ugh. That's gross.
Yeah.
And it's in the pattern of an
Yondu,
arrow.
Starhawk, Martin next to Naga, Charlie 27, Alita Agord.
Now we got Surrender by Cheap Trick. The Guardians of the Galaxy will return in one of the highest grossing films of the MCU.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of unfortunate that because they are about to tease the original Guardians getting together. It's unfortunate they're not actually going to do anything about that.
Oh! Oh!
And now you know why Batista never took his shirt off for the next movie.
Oh, that was painful. Okay, so what's our score for this? Wait, credit.
I gotta give it a solid 5 out of 10, because I like it, but it's... And I know I've said before that it's about the same quality as Guardians 1, but, like, I've gotta... I've gotta be frank, and, like, I...
Your name's not Frank.
It needs to have... It needed to have a
Hey, it's
lot... Hi,
Cosmo.
Cosmo! You're my favorite part of Guardians 3. Why weren't you not in more? Yeah, that's Miley Cyrus. You couldn't tell, but it is.
Flashlight by Parliaments. Okay, I'll give this like a 7 out of 10.
I can see that. I can't get over the fact that it does have my some of my least favorite um aspects of Hollywood writing. In fact, that's Guardians of the Galaxy pretty much is pretty much emblematic of some of my least favorite Hollywood tropes. Just standard Hollywood stuff coming into the MCU when previously the MCU was above things like that. It was like a cut above the rest. Um in this, it's a lot more prevalent, like the jokes going on for too long, the lines not it feels
Yeah.
like a first or second draft before you've got everything hammered out. While Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was a bit too polished, this one's a bit not polished enough, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Feels like it should
Guardians,
have had a bit more time in the oven.
yeah, a bit more time in the oven, a bit more practical um
Thanks.
yeah, a bit more practical effects because there are some weird effects issues throughout.
Yeah.
Um I find it's difficult to explain kind of without going over the the film again cuz I like I like the concepts of all the characters. I like the concepts that are presented for all of the plots and things like that. But I wish James Gunn would have done like a little bit more. You know, like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was what you get when you have a
Meanwhile,
bit too much. Oh yeah, here we have the Sovereigns.
well, Sonic. Here,
Yeah, sorry about I'm late.
Oh, it's
all
all
right.
right. You're
So here we
you're just
have
in time for the post-credit scene.
one of the
Ah,
post-credit scenes.
And we have about 4 minutes left.
I'll look it up on YouTube.
More stupid.
Hmm.
Adam Warlock.
Which is
Oh
funny because
yeah.
Adam Warlock
Yeah,
is not supposed to destroy the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was supposed to show up in Infinity War and or
Now we have
you know.
Guardians Inferno, which is a original
honest.
song made for this movie,
Yep.
Honest.
featuring David
I
Hasselhoff.
will. You know, I when I admitted I didn't even know who the hell Adam Warlock was
Oh man.
when I first watched that
No,
end
I
credit scene.
I
see
actually,
I
When I
watched
first
Knight Rider
when I
religiously
first
when I
watched
was a
it,
kid.
so Sonic, how would you
yeah,
rate this movie since I know you have at least seen this before?
I have seen it. I would say it's an alright. It's an alright movie. I mean, it's pretty solid. I mean, I kind of still edge out the first one a little bit, but yeah, I give this a solid B.
A B?
A B.
A
On
B?
how many steps of a
A
scale?
B. You know, graded scales. You know, come on, haven't you been to school? A B.
So, okay. A school grading scale. Okay. See, I was cuz
Or
there are
like
a couple
Sonic
of
the Hedgehog,
yeah,
or
cuz there are
hell, video game scale you want to get. You know,
yeah, cuz there are a
a
couple of different
B.
scales. Like yeah, I was going to say Sonic the Hedgehog, there's Devil May Cry, there's school grading
Let's just
scales and
go with
some
the Sonic
people
Adventure. Let's just go with Sonic Adventure.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I'm
By
gonna
the
post
way,
this in memes.
if you want to hear David Hasselhoff doing some legitimately amazing vocal performances, go check out him in the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde musical.
Let's
By
see
the
what
way, the
post.
actual music video for this song has Chris Pratt dressing some as Chris Pratt kind of dressed similarly to how he would in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, here's teenage
now,
Groot.
4 years.
my.
So
Oh,
now, so this scene takes place in 2018.
yeah. Huh.
Hi, Howard. Yeah, Mr. Blue Sky by
But
ELO,
that's
Brandy by Looking
hey,
Glass. Eliota, Haynes, Jeremiah. No song. Jimmy Urine. Jesus Christ.
The nicest thing
you
to
know
ever happen
what,
to Peter Parker, where
Parker?
we had him
You
in the
know, and in
hospital
fact, that is a dream.
with both MJ and Black Cat dressed in the latter's costume.
Leather, leather. I just love the face that MJ looks at him with side glance again. Alicia, God, this
Just remember,
completely.
we are Groot.
And you can
Which,
see
by the way,
him doing that over in the corner there.
there was actually a bit where we saw Jeff Goldblum in here, which is his
Hmm.
character, and we will be seeing his character in Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Me too.
So, next MCU movie we'll be watching is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh
And
yeah.
next movie, next thing we'll be viewing on Saturday is 2 episodes of the Mission Impossible TV series.
I've actually kind of, having looked through and gone through I think I think I can just pick us out one, and then we'll just watch the first movie afterwards.
Yeah,
Because
that one episode of Mission Impossible, and then we'll be watching in the first. Then we'll be watching the first movie.
yeah, because we need to have a
Dun,
quick
dun,
little
dun, dun,
rundown
dun,
of
dun.
who Jim Phelps is beforehand, and I think probably like the second or third episode of the second season will be more than enough there. Because Jim Phelps
And
wasn't introduced until season 2.
and
Oh,
and tomorrow we are going to finally get Alex into watching peak mecha anime in the form of Gurren Lagann.
bro,
Mm-hmm.
fight the power.
So
Row,
until
row,
then,
fight the power! Row, row, fight the power!
toodles.
Bye, everyone.
Noodles.
I'm deliberately stopping myself from saying bye, everybody, in that voice I always do. I'm quite proud of myself. Now I'm going to see
Good
if
on
I'm proud of Disney for not taking us down like they have the last couple of times.